Four steps for Shopify owners to hire incredible outsourced talent to get their time back without breaking the bank. So, in this training, I'm going to show you the exact process that I use to find epic outsourced talent for Shopify owners, just like you, every single day. Got a bunch of clients that use Shopify who are in the e-commerce space who have come to me, and we've implemented an amazing outsource strategy where we've got them talent like customer service, for example, $3 an hour, video shorts editors, helping them create all sorts of UGC content, all sorts of Instagram reels, YouTube shorts, all that kind of stuff, $5 an hour, graphic designers for six, Facebook ad guns even, who are running their ads for as little as $7 an hour. You've got SEO specialists that are helping them rank first page on Google for even like $5 an hour. The list goes on and on and on. And if this is you and your business at the moment, feel like you've got a million tasks on your back, and you need to get some of them off desperately. You're not spending any time with your family, your friends, your health is being sacrificed right now. No hobbies have been done in years, probably. I'm talking to you. This is exactly for you, and I want to show you a way that I think we can get you your time back. And this is going to be it today. I've been there. I know exactly what you're going through, and this is what helped me pull myself out from working 18-hour days to now working 5 to 6 hours a day with an incredible outsourced team. So look, we hire talent from all over the world. But in this training, I just want it to be really to the point and really specific. And I'm only going to focus on the Philippines. I think there's a massive opportunity at the moment in the Philippines. There's incredible talent there. It's an emerging market, has been for a fair few years now. And especially on the online type space, never has it been as easy as it is now to access incredible talent as a small business remotely, especially since COVID. This opportunity is just an incredible way to get your time back and leverage, cross-border economies where it can be a really nice win for someone working in the Philippines to get paid, whether it be you're in Australia, Aussie dollars, US dollars, it could be British pound, whatever it might be. And ends up being an incredible win for them too, just as much as it will be for you. And I'd implore you to go and chat with anyone from the Philippines who's doing outsource work at the moment. There's definitely some cases where people are getting ripped off, but the majority of the time it's an incredible win-win for both parties. So look, to find incredible talent, I'm going to show you today quickly a simple 4-step framework that has helped me hire hundreds and hundreds of incredible candidates for my clients, specifically in the e-com space. And it looks a little something like this. 1, we automate and delegate. 2, role creation. 3, hire. 4, onboard, and our outsourcing flywheel, which I'll get into in a bit. I'm going to really quickly skim through this, why you should listen to me. You obviously do not have to listen to me at all. I'm just another random guy on the internet. Previously, when this loads up, here we go. It's coming slowly. But previously, I used to work with an e-com startup. There I am in Australia. It literally started from the kitchen table at $0, and we grew it to multiple millions every year coming in. We did crazy stunts like this. We're featured on the news a bunch. Here's us in Egypt doing a massive plastic pyramid. There I am there at Sydney Harbour Bridge. We did a big underwater ocean cleanup. We're featured on the news a bunch. Ex-prime ministers in Australia. We raised about $11 million there, record-breaking week for VCs. And I was tasked with building out, I'm an engineer by background, and I was tasked to build out some world-first technology for this company. And I did all of that whilst helping them scale the company at the same time, being one of the founding members. You just end up doing everything, right? And so pretty quickly, whilst doing my project here, whilst doing all the media stunts, whilst doing everything else as well, I felt like this donkey here. I just had a million tasks on my back, and I was completely burnt out. My day, 4 a.m. to 11 p.m. Did that for like probably about the best part of 2 years. It was about 18 hours away from home. Some of you are probably doing more than that. And I was completely burnt out. I got to the end, finished my project. We won government awards. It all went really well. It was a big success. But despite it all, I was burnt out bad, like real bad. Went to the Maldives, had 2 months off to recoup, came back. And when I came back, I said, look, I can't be doing this again. I actually met this random guy just by chance, and he was telling me that I should look into outsourcing. Went out there, hired a bunch of people to start helping me do my work that I was doing, and failed miserably. Made a bunch of just really crap hires, people who just ripped me off, wasted my time, and all the rest. And I was like, oh, maybe this isn't for me. I persisted, and in the end, I ended up hiring a bunch more people who were just amazing, and that just got me hooked. And from then on in, I was just like, this is one of the greatest opportunities going at the moment. I've got to get involved in this. And the more I got involved, the more I had other people asking me, can you help me? Can you hook me up? Blah, 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 blah. And I did it all by coming up with this framework here that we use with our clients each and every single day. So fast forward to today, I run my own outsourcing program. We service businesses like yourselves, a lot of e-commerce, a lot of online coaches, a lot of online agencies, because if you're running an online business, this is just like one of the single greatest opportunities for you to cut down costs and free up your time. There's a bunch of reviews, obviously. Go to my other YouTube videos and you'll be able to see them, or my Instagram profile. Got complete time freedom, global freedom. We're currently living in the UK for the next little bit. We'll see where we're off to next. And I can do things that I love, having that work-life balance. Big happy story, blah, blah, blah. My girlfriend's very happy with me now because I've got more time. That's that. That is that. Let's get into it and get started. The first two parts, I'm going to try and skip through because it is a little bit of common sense. And I mention all of this in that I want you basically to make sure that you do it. So many people skip this and they just end up with crap candidates, people who don't perform because they just didn't take the extra hour or two to just sit down and properly go through these steps. That's kind of one of the most powerful things that we kind of provide to our clients is we're able to like book in a call, we sit down with them, they go from start to finish, exactly what the requirements are, what we're looking for, and then we'll go and put it all in a nice document. We'll get it all filtered, ready to go, and then we'll strategically implement the plan. And I guess that's one thing that a lot of people struggle to do themselves for one reason or another that I see all the time. They'll just go out, hire someone who's crap, and then they just say outsourcing's crap, it's not for me, and they don't end up with amazing talent. That's the exact same experience I went through until we built this framework. And now that I follow this framework religiously each and every time, we always find amazing people. So by all means, if you want to be really cheeky and get straight to the value part, you can skip. I think it'll probably be in like another 10 minutes. I'll have to check the timestamps. I'll put a timestamp there. But in the second half of this, I'll have a bunch of really high actionable links. And I just want you to get as much value from this as possible. So you can skip to that if you want. But here I just want to quickly touch on some really important stuff in terms of creating a role, which is not to be missed either. So our first step is automate and delegate. So in order to get your time back, we need to figure out exactly what we want to hire for first. It's easy to jump straight in and hire someone who looks amazing on paper, but then you end up spending more time than you were previous, and this is not the goal, right? The goal here is for you to get your time back. Yeah, exactly what I was just saying. So many people just go straight out there, they'll hire someone, and then they're just like, in 2 months' time, just like, far out, I'm spending way more time training this person, and it's added heaps more to my schedule. This wasn't the point. So you can absolutely go and hire a one-off person to build your website, do some kind of gig, and all the rest. But you'll be doing the opposite of getting your time back. I've been there. Yeah. You don't want to start a project. You want to get someone into your business as usual to take time off your plate. So hire for a role that you already do each and every day. How do you identify a role? Well, it seems bleedingly obvious, but so many people don't even do this, is literally go to your Google Calendar, go to your mail, whatever it is that you record everything that you do each and every day, and start looking back at all the tasks, activities that you do. And you'll have plenty in the top of your head. But if you're good and you write down in your calendar in blocks of like what you're working on, you'll easily be able to identify all the tasks that you're doing. And what we want to do is we want to split those tasks out into high leverage and low leverage activities. And what do I mean by high leverage and low leverage? High leverage is something that's going to take minimal effort and produces a high reward. And low leverage is an activity that takes maximum effort and produces a low reward. So in this case, let's replace reward with cash because we're talking about business here. So high leverage, we're getting lots of cash. Low leverage, we're not getting much cash, but we're putting a lot of effort in, right? So it makes no sense for you to be doing an activity that is low leverage. It's taking up heaps of your time, but you're not getting much cash output from it. And those are the types of tasks that we should be looking to immediately outsource, right? Because you've got to think about how much you're paying yourself and what is the opportunity cost of having yourself bunkered down for an extra 4 hours a day doing something like in ecom land, for example, like customer service. I've seen heaps of business owners who are doing their own customer service when they could be paying someone $3 an hour to be resolving it probably better than what they can. And a lot of people just can't let go that, like, I know everything about my business, therefore I'm the best person for it. If you're able to employ someone full time at $3 an hour, they are very quickly going to become better than you at customer service because it's their sole focus. Whereas you're going to be completely wrecked, and you're probably going to do a poor job, and it leaves you no time for the high leverage activities, which is what's going to drive your business forward, right? So in our program, we've actually got like a Notion database that we use to quickly help identify these tasks. We rank them all by order of leverage, and then it makes it super easy to identify what roles you're doing that basically aren't giving you that reward. But for you, just use the good old pen and paper method, high leverage, low leverage, then just list out below all these tasks. Once you've written all of these tasks, begin looking at the low leverage activities. All the high leverage activities is probably a really good reminder that I need to be doing more of these. But we want to focus on the low leverage, and we want to start to circle out places where activities in the low leverage column can be grouped into a particular role, which moves into role creation. So we've identified the high leverage and low leverage activities, and you'll see right here, this is what we have in our Notion database that we give to all our clients is customer service, finance all rounder. You can see here are two pretty pressing ones. So immediately you'd say there's a customer service role. This person was doing a lot of customer service. They're doing a lot of finance stuff as well. So you could probably hire someone for finance too. But just for argument's sake on this training, let's go with customer service, nice and easy. And for you in your list, just circle around whatever it is, average it out, however you want to do it, and you'll end up with the same process. Now, secondly, let's just liven it up a little bit so you've got a creative example as well, because I'm going to show you how to hire for a customer service role. And let's do a video editing role as well, just because that seems to be the flavor of the month at the moment. Everyone wants a video shorts editor. So with these roles, things that I just see, and I've just put this in here because I want you to really just like understand this, is so many people, they go, yep, sweet, I got the role. And then they go out and they hire this person full time straight away. They go, yep, you're on full time hours, you're done. No probation period. It's just full trust. Like it's all good. You're straight in. And then they also don't train or onboard or anything like that. They just literally give them work as if it was like a gig, and they don't integrate them into their company. It just never ends up working. You really need to follow this process that I'm going to outline below to integrate them properly and end up with like a proper staff member that's actually going to take time away from you, and be doing amazing stuff in your business. So the quickest way to find someone great is one, we're going to do screening tests, really important. So your business is your blood, sweat, and tears. The last thing we want is for someone to come in and ruin it all for you. So make sure you screen test, and I'll get into detail in that in a minute. Minimum 2 months probation period. Hire slow and fire fast. I always live by this for all of my clients. We performance manage all of our candidates that come in. We have a very strict policy as to what they cannot do. And if they breach any of that, it's almost one strike policy and you're out. A little bit less than that, but we're very strict because we only want the best and we're not here to waste anyone's time. So number 3, phased employment approach. This one's super effective for making sure that we retain talent and make sure that we've found the right talent. So phase 1, part-time work. We only ever offer roles that are part-time to begin with. We never give a full-time role straight off the bat. It needs to be earned. It's not a privilege type mentality type thing, but there's also a bunch of other reasons behind that. So to begin with, roughly around 20 hours a week is what we'll offer on a job ad. Phase 2, they work up to about 75% of a full week. So it could be 30 hours a week. And then phase 3, full-time work, 40 hours a week, or whatever your full-time week is. I'm just talking typical numbers here. The phased employment approach also gives you time to train your new hire properly without getting them overwhelmed or getting you overwhelmed. If they come on board and you need to train them every single thing for like a full-time role straight away, it's going to be pretty overwhelming for you. You're going to waste a lot of time like training this person all the time, hand holding and doing all that. You want them to slowly learn and evolve and grow into your business. And also, one amazing cheat code that comes from this is when you conduct your training, just get them to record on their smartphone, or maybe you on your smartphone or on your computer or whatever it is. Just record the Zoom call or the Google Hangout or whatever it is, and get them to document it all up into an SOP, standard operating document. This way, for any new hires that you get in the future, or if they leave for any reason, you'll have that training with them, with you, ready to go for the next person, right? Which all of a sudden just makes your life so much easier if that ever happens. All right. So very simple, like you get the point, right? 20 hours, 30 hours, 40 hours, customer service. It could be 15 customer inquiries, 25, 35 a day. They're learning reporting dashboards, and we put in like a real phased approach. This is really simple. I just want to make the point here. With our clients, we go into a lot more detail into what that looks like, and we step it all out. And for video editing, same thing. Could be 2 Instagram reels, 5, then 10, 2 long form YouTube videos, 5 TikToks, blah, 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 blah. Now, let's get into the juicy stuff, and hopefully, I'm hoping that you'll get a lot of value from this as well. Hire. So where to hire from? There's heaps of places to go out and hire from. And if you want to hire talent from the Philippines, in my opinion, if you're going to Fiverr or Upwork or anywhere like that, you're probably going to get ripped off. I've definitely seen some good hires come from there, but at the moment, the number one place for me that I'm finding a lot, and there's definitely some other marketplaces that are good too, but I would just go to onlinejobs.ph. I'll put a link in the description. Just click on the link there and you'll be taken straight there. Obviously, you can see for locals who are looking for work, they can search jobs. For you looking for talent, you can search for talent. It does cost money, but you can get a free account, and you can see you can create up to 3 job posts per month, which is pretty good. The only problem is only 15 applications per job, which isn't great, but yeah, what I would be doing anyway is I would be a bit cheeky. Would do the free version. We'd post an ad, and then I'd be linking people to my email, which is what I do anyway. Obviously, we're on like the full premium paid up one. We get a lot of people just to email us direct, and we've got like a jobs inbox where we get it. Be prepared to get a lot of emails. There's a lot of people out there, and that's why these next few parts are really important, because we need to filter through everything. Other thing is just pay the $69 plan as well if you want. I think it's well worth it if you're going to employ someone for $10,000 a year potentially, as opposed to $60,000 that you might pay locally. It's a bit of a no-brainer just to spend $70. Just obviously you're probably only going to be hiring for a month. Cancel the plan at the end of the month, and then you're done. It's only going to cost you $69. Okay, so that's that. That's where to go. Number 2, what to write in your job ad. I put a lot of to-the-point detail in my job ads to try and ward off people who aren't serious and may not be capable of comprehending like the complex problems that arise. That being said, I generally list requirements in like bullet points, but there's a lot of detail. I don't want to waffle on. I want to be to the point so people can understand really quickly, but I also include as much detail as possible. So this is my kind of framework. And if you want this, just send me a DM on Instagram, and I'll shoot this over to you. And that way you can just like copy and paste and fill it out below. But basically, quick overview of the role. What's your company? What's the position you're looking for? Why this role is amazing. Just quickly explain why your new outsourced worker should be so lucky to work with you, and what your company or biz is. You want to really get them pumped up here and go, wow, this is an epic role that I really need to be applying for in a company I want to be a part of. Must have experience. Find about like 3 things that are just like, if they don't have that, then sorry, it's just not going to work. List out those 3 things. About the brand or business, explain more about your business or brand, what you do, what customers you serve, what are your growth plans, is it an established or stable business to work for, all that kind of stuff. General background. Requirements. Here we just list all of the requirements. They don't have to be absolute deal breakers, but we just put all of them in, just really short, concise bullet points, list them all out. And now number 6, this is the money maker for you. bonus or incentives. Come up with some kind of incentive or bonus that's going to really attract someone to go, far out, this is a cool job, I need to apply for this because there's awesome incentive. The quickest way to do this is literally just have something as little as a $50 sign-on bonus, which is only available after completing a 2-month probationary period. They'll get $50. That's how I would go about doing this generally. We've got our own ways that we generally like to do it, but that's an easy, quick win. It's just $50 done. A lot of people will be pumped to have that sign-on bonus. Number 7, what we provide. So I've just put some examples there. Could be starting pay range. Again, mention the bonus, opportunities for growth, future plans, positive work environment. You're going to obviously offer training, support, feedback, all that kind of stuff. People love to know that you're like a long-standing established company. If you've been around for even a year, that's good to note. And now number 8, what you provide. So here, this is what they're going to provide for you. At a minimum, they need to have a working computer and proof of fast internet connection. Heaps of people in the Philippines should have a fast internet connection. They've got great internet over there. Great level of English, confident to get on video calls with working webcam. This one, it's not a deal breaker for me personally. We hired an SEO specialist who was an absolute gun, got our client's first page ranking on Google, doesn't like getting on the webcam. He's just shy, and that it is what it is. Personally, for me, I like to chat with someone face to face, but a lot of people in the Philippines can be shy like that. It's a bit of a cultural thing, so doesn't have to be a deal breaker. It's totally up to you. Is nice to talk face to face, I find. List anything else that you want them to have for the role as well in here. Now, number 9, how to apply. This is kind of the important part, and sorry to kind of like race through this, and I'll try and slow down a little bit for this because this is where things get serious, to try and find like our top 1%. Okay. So we want to break it down into 2 steps. The first step, ask them to apply by email, okay? So we'll say, for example, please apply by emailing me at jack@teamsourcer. Ask them to attach a copy of their CV and cover letter or examples of their previous work, if it's, say, video editing that they're applying for, that would be relevant to the role. Finally, ask that they include in their application email, in the email subject line, this is what I like to do, is I'll write insert your first name, all in capitals. So it'll be Jack, all in capitals. Then insert hourly rate in US dollars, so $5 US, and then dash, and then they'll just copy application for customer service rep. So this is as if they're applying for the customer service role that we spoke about at the start. So doing this is going to quickly put them in your inbox. You'll be able to identify that this is someone applying for that role. It's not a random email, and having the dollar amount and their rate is really going to help as well, because you can quickly go, you know what, like I'm not paying $20 an hour for customer service. Oh my God, $3 an hour, that's an incredible rate. I'm very interested in that. And you can kind of filter accordingly. I use Gmail. I just use the labels. I create a label and I put all of them under a label. And then afterwards I'll use the archive function, which will basically put them out of my inbox and put them only into the label. And that way you got a nice clean inbox. It's not filled with applications. Step 2, create an online screening test and ask them to complete that test as part of this application. Paste the link to your screening test and ask them to complete it. So what that kind of looks like here is step 2, please complete a short screening test at this link here. I've actually just grabbed a screenshot of a previous, here we go, it was a paid ads specialist application that we were advertising for one of our clients. And I'm going to show you how to create a screening test. So how to create a screening test. One of the easiest and quickest ways is just to use a site like Test Gorilla. There's a few sites like this out there, but Test Gorilla, in my opinion, is one of the better ones. I obviously have like the full kit and caboodle because this is what we do all the time. We're testing people, and they literally have thousands and thousands of tests if you pay for it. If you don't pay for it, which you probably won't, just jump on the free version and you'll have all this 10 tests in the free plan. Okay, so you'll get the personality and culture category. Use the DISC test, which is like fundamental for us. We always use a DISC test to identify what type of person this is and then how they're going to relate to the role or the company that we're hiring for. I wouldn't really worry too much about this one. HR fundamentals, blah, blah, blah. Attention to detail, great test. Communication, great test. And English, great test. JavaScript, well, yeah, if you're hiring for that, great. But we don't need that for these roles we've been talking about. If you're interested, you can actually go and search. There's like hundreds and hundreds of tests here. So literally anything under the sun you can get. So for the customer service role, this is the tests I would assign. I'd go DISC test, attention to detail, communication, English. You just create an account and then you'll be able to create a test. It's super intuitive. You can do another video on how to set that up, but it's pretty easy to do. And the goal here is to create a really nice looking bell curve. And this is the type of bell curve we're looking for. This is a beautiful looking bell curve. It's actually from a customer service test that we ran for another client. And you can see here, we've got a beautiful list of people. It's a really unbiased, great way to rank people and see how good they truly are, rank the candidates. And I think this was George here. We actually hired George for our client here, got an 85% score, and you can see it was an SI. And I've written down here as well, SI, in case you didn't know, is a supportive and agreeable result in the DISC test. So for customer service, that's great. Like if someone's supportive and agreeable, then that's perfect for customer service. So now we want to go and schedule 3 interviews. Generally for me, I will go and review the top 3. I'll go and review their CVs, look at their experience. If they got really bad experience, then maybe I'll skip to the next one and keep going down the list, and you'll end up with your top 3. That's pretty self-explanatory, right? Voila, go and interview them. I'm not going to go through interview questions and all of that. That's pretty self-explanatory, and it's kind of up to you and how you like to do it at your, in your business. But you'll figure it out and you'll end up hiring someone eventually. Very quickly, I've just spoken about the customer service. Here's a video editor example. So with the video editing, we obviously don't need to do screening tests. And I actually love hiring for creative people like this because you really get to, it's a personal thing, right? So obviously there is a standard and you'll start to identify that pretty quickly. Can be time consuming because you're going through countless videos, for example, for video editing, but you're going to find some absolute gems in here. So this is a guy that we almost hired for one of our clients, but they ended up going with someone who was $4 an hour rather than $7.50 an hour. And I've put his video in here. I'm pretty sure he's got another job yet, but feel free to reach out to me. I might be able to see if he's still available. But I thought this edit that he submitted here as part of his portfolio was really nice. Just check this out.
Okay, so have you ever heard of these $50 strawberries? It might sound like something only the super rich would indulge in, but there's a company that's actually selling these to the masses, and they've raised $50 million for it. The company's called Oishi, based in New York, and they grow the world's first vertical indoor strawberries. And they're unlike any strawberries you've ever tasted. At first glance, you might think nobody in the right mind is buying strawberries with this price tag, but that's before the magic of marketing comes into play. Oishi didn't focus on telling people why they should buy their strawberries. Instead, they focused on selling through their content, not in it. A vital difference that B2B brands especially should take note of. They showcase the beauty of their strawberries.
Yeah, so anyway, you can see he's doing all sorts of animations. Done a really good job. And for $7.50 an hour, far out, you just can't go wrong, right? Right, so you bring them on board and then implement our flywheel. So now that you've made your hire, you need to onboard them into the company ASAP. Just don't delay, because there's actually a bunch of people just like you out there trying to find good talent for cheap. And if you do delay, you could miss out. It's happened to me a bunch of times, and you want to make sure you get them in as quickly as possible. So generally the way we like to do it, at the very least, just send them an email. I know a lot of people don't like, in this type of world, they don't want to do up official contracts and all the rest of it, because they're like, oh, this is just like almost a gig or a freelance, or I'm not too sure. Do yourself a favor, and if you're going down this path of saving yourself time, this should be someone that you're hiring for the long term that's going to implement systems and processes and get your time back. So do up a proper contract, which, to be clear, is not an employment contract where you're paying out sick leave or annual leave or anything like this. It's a proper contract. You will be paid $7 an hour, whatever it is. Your probation period is 2 months. You stipulate all the terms, all of that. There's heaps of templates out there that you can go and get to. Go to PandaDoc or something like that. You'll be able to get a bunch of those and then just fill it out, get them to e-sign it, and that way it's super clear what the expectations are right from the get-go. create an onboarding presentation. So generally what I'll always do with my clients is we'll actually build the onboarding presentation on their behalf. We'll onboard the outsource workers, and then we'll have like a secondary meeting with the business owner, stakeholder, whoever it is, and then we'll integrate them in. They've got the opportunity to ask questions. We clarify expectations. We describe in detail this phased approach that they're going to go through, working part-time all the way to full-time, and what the timeline of that looks like, what date they will come on full-time, all that kind of stuff. We're going to pump them up, get them excited. This is an amazing opportunity. You're going to want to stick around. Here's all the amazing things that we're doing. We're planning to grow this much next year, and with your help, we're going to do this, and blah, 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 blah. So 3, you're going to have to share passwords at one point. Please, 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 please do not share your actual password. So many people are actually getting caught out doing this, which still just baffles me. Go to LastPass. It's an easy, free place to start at the very minimum. And it's a password manager. You can sign up, create an account, and then you can actually share your password with your outsourced team, and they don't need to know your password. You can revoke access to that password overnight if anything happens, and you're all protected. I like to pay for a password manager. I think LastPass may have been hacked in the past, so I'm not going to put my official stamp of approval on it, but it's just a really easy place to get started, and at the very minimum, that's going to protect you somewhat. It's much better than giving your password away. If you forgot, if you forgot it in your offer letter before, just again, I just want to reiterate there on point number 4, just please have an employment contract. Use PandaDoc. It's got plenty of templates. You can get like a free version, a free trial, and just get one done, and then it's done. Have them sign relevant NDAs to keep your company safe. It's not uncommon for, a whoever it might be, SEO, ads, video editor or whatever, of like getting hired by someone else, and they might start to divulge some of your secrets. You want to have some paperwork to protect yourself. There's a heap more documents and onboarding that kind of goes into it, but I want to make this short and to the point. And mainly it's about getting you this hire and getting some actionable advice. So I think you've got most of that now. But the very last thing I'll just quickly touch on and introduce you to is our flywheel framework. So we've just gone through this first bit here, which is attract talent and hire. Once we've done that, this is obviously from kind of what we do, Team Sourcer or Outsourced trains and onboards. So we do all of that. You'll be doing this part, obviously, onboarding, training, all of that kind of stuff. Then probation's done. They graduate through the phases. They become like a solo, self-reliant, self-dependent employee. They're doing amazing work. The new hire becomes trusted and valued team member, right? Brings us all the way to this referral stage. Referral stage is kind of where you go, hey, like this has worked out amazingly well. I'm saving a bunch of money. I'm saving a bunch of time. I want to restart this process and I want to hire for a different role. Then rather than going back out to market and having millions of more applicants apply, which when you do it with us, we still do that anyway, but the best way is literally just to get referrals. And this is how we're actually able to find amazing people for our clients each and every time, is we literally go back to everyone we've hired and we go, hey, we've got this new role. Do you know anyone out there who would be a great fit? And we get like hundreds of referrals from our networks. And it's such an easy way to find amazing people who are like already kind of pre-vetted. We know they're going to do a good job. We've got someone vouching for them. They're in the circles and communities, and you're almost forming this club, right? And it makes it so much easier to train this person up, to get them on board, to put them through all our processes, because they've got someone that's kind of holding their hand and taking them through, which is your first outsourced worker. And this outsourced worker, they should have built all the onboarding and training documents with you as they're going through the phases, if you remember that correctly. So every time you're doing a coaching call or a training call, they should be building training and all that kind of stuff that's going to be used for your second outsourced worker that comes on board, and so on and so on and so on. And it ends up creating this flywheel effect, which just makes it possible for you to pull yourself out of the business more and replace yourself with outsourced talent who can do all sorts of different facets of your business. So look, I'm not going to keep rifling on about that. if you want to find out more, obviously you probably came from my Instagram. Go here, give me a follow, and I'm going to constantly be updating it with all sorts of tips and tricks, and hopefully some actionable content that you can just grab a link and go and get a quick win for yourself. And if you've watched it all the way to here and you're thinking to yourself, you know what, I'd just prefer to get this right the first time and let Jack do it for me, shoot me a DM. We can have a chat, see if you'll be a good fit for our time mastery blueprint, where basically we get online business owners like yourself their time back using gun outsourced talent. We're super selective in our program because we want to find the best fit for this program and the best talent for the clients that we do have. So we only take on 4 new clients every single month, and that way we're just ensuring that we get them the best results. We don't want to muck around. We want them to save their time, get a heap of value, and we do that by restricting the numbers that come in. So it's a very one-on-one, tailored, high intensity on our end to give you all of your time back and set up systems and processes where you can implement outsourced staff well into the future to get your business running on autopilot. So message me now and I'll let you know if we've got room to join. And yeah, obviously be following, because if there is a big wait list, I'll be putting up on my stories when spots become available and you can jump in. Look, that's it for now. Wanted to keep this nice and sweet and short, but any questions, of course, reach out. Cheers.